What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Tuesday morning edition of the Daily Juice podcast. My name is Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me on Twitter at SportsTalkMatt. We are here every morning on BettingPros.com, wherever you get your audio podcasts, and on YouTube for the video. Being brought to you by BetMGM every single time. They offer $10, win $150. Any event, use that promo code Juice150 to sign up for a new account. $10, $150 guaranteed at BetMGM or BetMGM.com. New accounts, Juice150. Okay, so we go down on the Chiefs, 1 unit. KC's broken. More on them here in a second. We get the Oilers right with the puck line, even money on that. And then I doubled down during the game, so I saved myself a little bit there on my overall loss personally. We're in the Discord channel talking about third-string goaltender, and the Kraken just didn't look good at all. Oilers continue to look very good at home. I won a hockey bet. How about that? Maybe we just turned the tide for hockey wagering. And then bummer, man, the Wizards lose by 7. 5.5 was the number we played, plus 5.5. They just couldn't get that last couple of buckets to go there to get all the way back. We almost snuck in the back door there with a cover for the NBA. So we don't get that. John Collins did not play that prop. Glad that I did not play that prop. I don't think he came anywhere near hitting his prop last night. Last time I checked, it was at 8 points, like late in the fourth. So I don't think he got there. But so we didn't play any props yesterday. And then to the Chiefs. So 31, we played over 31.5. They scored 20. KC is a bad defense with an offense that I'll agree with Tony Dungy. They look lost. I mean, they look lost. They really do. Mahomes, look, the interceptions, some of it is bad luck. Other is just bad throws. He's throwing into double coverage. He's throwing into throwing lanes that just aren't there. And look, I made this bet with somebody in the Discord channel. I don't think the Chiefs make the playoffs. I'll tell you that right now here. I don't think they make the playoffs. They've got two teams. I like the Raiders better than them. I like the Chargers better than them. And the Broncos are plucky. You know, they can bite you every now and then. I think the AFC is really tough, and I just don't like what I'm seeing at all out of the Chiefs. Their defense, their offense, the book's out, man. People know how to defend them. They know how to stop it. And Eric Bieniemy has got to figure this out quickly because right now, this is not a good team. The Giants are a bad football team, and the Giants maybe should have won that game. Got some bad luck with some bad calls and questionable officiating and some things that are going to make Giant fans mad. They maybe deserve to win that game. So Chiefs win it, but that didn't look good. Didn't look good. So unfortunately, officially, we're down a unit here for the day. So not the start on a Monday that we want, but here we go on to a Monday's daily or to a Tuesday's daily juice. We go every week, so let's gonna pick it back up here. Let's get it going here. I've got 2 MACTION football games to get into, and I've got a World Series play. I will have 2 NBA player props going tonight, so we will throw those at you guys coming up in the Discord channel, bettingpros.com/chat, or the links underneath me here on YouTube to get into the Discord channel, which we are approaching 10,000 users, guys. Can we get to 10,000? He ever hopped in? A bunch of you have DM'd me saying, I'm new. Welcome. It's very fun. It's cool to be in there, and I highly recommend it because we get a lot of sharp and smart people who are in there who are posting picks and plays, and one guy last night he bet 2 bets, $500 each, on Mahomes to throw a pick and for Daniel Jones to throw a pick, and he cashed both those tickets in the first quarter. Not a bad way to come out with $1,000 right then and there. So just kind of the thing that we hang out and do and what we watch and have fun with in the Discord channel. So very, very highly recommended you guys come in on the Discord channel. NBA player props will be dropped later today here before the games tip off. One of the good things about having a new job, and I got a lot of time, so I can research the holy hell out of those 2 player props coming up here today. But let's start with Miami and their game tonight against Ohio. Miami of Ohio, 4-4, 3-1 in the MAC. The Ohio Bobcats are 1-7, 1-3 in conference play. The line is 7.5 at the time of taping. I saw 2 books already at 8. I jumped on 7.5 here at -110 for the Miami Redhawks. Here is the philosophy and the backing of this bet, okay? When you look at what we've seen so far out of Miami this year, Miami 3-5 to the number, same with Ohio, 3-5 to the number. But last time out against Ball State, the win outright for Miami of Ohio as 3.5-point dogs. They won by 7. They did not cover against Akron. They were 20-point dogs. They only won by 13 in that game. That's not great. They lost to Eastern Michigan on the road, which was somewhat of an eye-opener. But the week before that, they beat Central Michigan as 2.5-point dogs. by 11 points. This is a pretty good team for Miami. Now, on the other side, Ohio is bad. They lost to Kent State as 5-point dogs. They lost by 7. They did cover against Buffalo. They lost by 1 as 7.5-point dogs. They lost by 3 as 5-point dogs to Central Michigan, and they won by 17, laying 10 against Akron. Akron's a pretty bad team, to be quite honest. But when you start to look at these two stats, look, Miami's offense is not great. So, like, before you go, oh, Matt, bet the over, right? It's MACTION, just bet the over. All right, maybe, but Miami only scores 21 points a game. Now, Ohio gives up 31 points a game, and Ohio's rush defense is horrific, okay? 232.9 yards per game given up. That's 122nd in college football, okay? They can't stop anybody running the football. Now, Miami's not great running the ball, 4.1 yards per carry, but they're good enough, okay? That's a top 100, nearly top 75 rush offense in college football. So I think they run the ball a lot tonight. And that's why I'm a little bit concerned about the over. Because if Miami's running the ball and Ohio's not scoring, then you're dealing with a potential under here of 52.5 points. And you know everyone's going to bet the over here, right? It's just everyone's going to come in. It's MACTION. You bet the over with Mac football, right? Okay, fine. But I'm concerned just about Miami's offense not being good enough. I mean, look at some of the offensive outputs for Miami this year. 24 against Ball State, 34 against Akron wasn't bad. 12 against Eastern Michigan, 28 against Central Michigan, 10 against Army. I don't love this. You might go team total, right, Matt? Just go team total. Well, it's 29.5, the team total for Miami. So maybe you bet under, right? Oh, bet under on the team total for Miami. Well, the problem is Ohio's defense, as I said, gives up 31.6 points per game. That's 92nd in the country. Okay, that's not good. On the other side, Miami of Ohio's defense is okay. They're giving up 24.4 points per game. Ohio's offense is bad, 20.4 points per game. 5.7 yards per play is okay. 54th in the country, 5.5 for Miami, pretty much on par there. You can't really run on these guys too much. They give up 153 yards rushing, but Ohio likes to run the ball. Ohio, 5.4 yards per rush, 14th best in the country. 201 rushing yards a game, 28th best in the country. Miami wants to run the football. Again, running clock, tough to get overs when you have a Miami team that wants to be able to run on Ohio's porous defense versus Ohio, who runs the football like crazy, and they don't throw the ball all that well. They're only averaging 166 yards through the air this year. And the thing is, Miami of Ohio's defense gives up 215 yards through the air. So you should be able to throw on Miami, but Ohio wants to run, okay? Number is 7.5. I'm going to lay the 7.5 here with the road favorite on a Tuesday night in Athens, Ohio. I just don't think Ohio's very good. I don't think they have the offense. Don't love their defense. I think the under might be in play here, to be quite honest. I think people who bet the over may be in trouble here. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm taking Miami here. I'm going to lay the 7.5. Miami minus 7.5 for a half a unit at Ohio. These are MACTION midweek games. I don't bet full units on these games. Just FYI, I go half unit, okay? It's very volatile. It's MACTION. I don't trust these games. These are standalone games, midweek games, funky, weird things happen. I go half unit. So what am I doing with the other half a unit? Let's stay in MACTION here, and let's roll on over to the other game, Eastern Michigan at Toledo. Now, there are 3 games tonight, okay, just FYI. Ball State at Akron is on CBS Sports Network. Miami at Ohio is on ESPNU. And Eastern Michigan at Toledo is on ESPN2, okay? We got games tomorrow night, too. Two more games tomorrow night. But just heads up, the Ball State-Akron game, I don't know what the hell to do with that game. That line's 20.5. I mean, I will have a personal play on the over that game just because I figure highest total on the board being MACTION. Ball State is supposed to be scoring a lot more offense than they have. Akron used to have an offense. They don't anymore. But I'll have a personal play on the over just because. And I'll just see if we can get one MACTION over with Ball State and Akron, but I don't like it enough to make it an official play. The other official play, Eastern Michigan at Toledo. Okay, so Eastern Michigan, 5-3 overall, 2-2 in conference. Toledo, 4-4 overall, 2-2 also in conference play. So you start breaking these two teams down. This is interesting. Okay, so Eastern Michigan, They won by 31 points last week on the road against Bowling Green, laying 4.5. Before that, they were 1.5-point favorites against Ball State, lost by 7. Before that, didn't cover. Before that, they were won by 1 over Miami of Ohio as 2.5-point dogs at home. In a pick game against Northern Illinois, they lost by 7. They're 3-5 so far against the number so far. Toledo is 5-3 to the number so far. Last week against Western Michigan, they won by 19 as 1.5-point dogs. 2 previous games before that, they were favorites and they lost outright. Okay, they lost outright. They beat my UMass Minutemen by 38. They beat Ball State as 4.5-point favorites. On the road, they won by 10. Okay, 5-3, but 2 of the last 3, they failed to cover. And when they were at home as a home favorite, 13 points against Northern Illinois, lost it outright. Same thing when they were favored against Central, they lost it outright. Number is +9 here. Okay, Toledo is laying 9 points. So we go over the key number of 7 here on this one. Toledo's offense is okay. Eastern Michigan's defense is okay. But I think Eastern Michigan's offense at 32 points per game, and then Toledo's defense, which is giving up 19 points per game, I think this +9, I think there's a lot of value here on +9. I think Eastern Michigan can keep this game close. I think at 53, I definitely think the under is in play here for this game. But you got an offense for Eastern Michigan at 5.4 yards per play. Toledo's got 4.6 yards per play. Rushing 3.1 yards per rush, not great, but passing 8.1 yards. Eastern Michigan likes to throw the football. On the other side, Toledo's defense, 6.2 yards given up. That's 12th best in the country. It is hard to pass on this Toledo defense. On the other side, you've got a passing offense for Toledo, 7 yards per play. That's 85th in the country versus 6.8 for Eastern Michigan. That is 33rd best in the country. So both pass defenses are very good. It's hard to run on Toledo, though. 3.7 yards per rush. That's 32nd. You got 4.9 yards per rush for Eastern Michigan. That's 104th versus 32nd. But you got a 3.1 yards per rush for Eastern. They want to throw the football. They don't want to run anyway. So they're much more inclined to throw the ball than run the ball, but it's going to be tough to pass on Toledo. Look, I think Eastern Michigan can keep this game within 1 score. I don't think this is a high-scoring game. I think the under definitely could be in play as well, even though it's MACTION, but I think Eastern can throw the ball. They're live here. Okay, I think Eastern's live to come up here. And as I mentioned, 2 of the last 3 with Toledo being being favored, they failed to cover here, okay? I'm taking the 9 points. Eastern Michigan +9 on the road at Toledo here with a total of 53. Taking the road dog at +9. All right, so Miami of Ohio -7.5 against Ohio for a half a unit, and Eastern Michigan +9 for a half a unit. If you want to play on the other game, I'm taking the over 57.5, over 58 for the other game, but that's an unofficial play. That's just my personal play, okay? So there's our college football on a Tuesday. It's MACTION, okay? It's why I'm playing half units, all right? I'm not playing full units on games that are being played on a Tuesday and Wednesday, just my own personal preference. All right, let's get to the World Series. Man, oh man, oh man. Here we go. This is going to be a very interesting game tonight. It feels, now correct me if I'm wrong, this is why we're on both sides of the winning, right? We're on Astros +145. And we're on the Braves +120 here for the World Series. At FanDuel, the current number right now is to win the World Series, and that can't be right. That can't be right. Hold on, that's got to be wrong. That's got to be a mistake. The Braves are -240 to win the World Series, and the Astros are +200. Is FanDuel flipping this? Wow, so they're still -240 going into a Game 6 because they have a 3-1 lead? I'm stunned at that. I hadn't checked that before we started the podcast. Sorry, I assumed that would be somewhere around like -150, 30, somewhere. I mean, -240. Win 1 game of the next 2. All right, well, we'll see what happens there. But that was surprising to me. Astros +200. So you can bet the Astros right now to win the World Series if you want. You get better numbers than what I've got. I've got +145. You can get +200 right now on the Astros. But doesn't it feel like the Braves are going to blow this? I mean, doesn't it feel like it is typical Atlanta, 28-3 all over again? Now, I know you have Max Fried on the mound here against Luis Garcia, but this is Game 6 in Houston, warmer weather, big lineups. Both lineups are alive in a lot of ways. The Braves are trying to find some offense to come back here and score and to do, some damage here. But, last time was a 9-5 win. On Sunday, we score 14 runs. The total is 8.5. I think we're going to be in for a very similar high-scoring game here tonight. I think after you see these lineups, you get into the bullpens a little bit. I just think this is I know Garcia's been decent at home, but his ERA on the road's not been great. But I think you've got offenses that need to go slugging here. I think the value is on the over, personally, on this at -115, -110, shop around. I like the over 8.5 runs here. It's going to be a public play, but I just think with the Astros back in the American League ballpark with American League rules, Max Fried on the mound, they've already seen him, and so have the Braves seen Garcia. A chance to win the World Series again. The Braves will have a chance tonight and tomorrow night if they lose it to win the World Series, but if they force a Game 7, yikes. I'm trying to think about the best way to play this because if you haven't bet a total, so if you bet the Astros to win the World Series now at +200, so if you like the Astros to win tonight, I think it's probably smart to bet the Astros tonight at +200 because what do you think Game 7 odds are going to be if we go there? Because technically, my guess would be maybe -110 in a Game 7 setup. Who's favored? Houston probably is favored, right? Home team, Game 7 in the World Series. So if that's the case, you bet +200 tonight on the Astros to win the World Series. This might be a good way of playing it if you guys want it. So then you go to a Game 7, and then if the Astros do win tonight for Game 6, you got +200. That's essentially a +200 money line going into Game 7, and then you're going to come back with you could probably get -110, or you can get something on the on the Braves on the money line for Game 7. And then you're basically sitting on a guaranteed double ticket again. So you're at +120 for the Braves, +145 on the Astros. Come back, you're on a +200. You know what? I'm going to do this. Let's, do I want to make that official? No, I'm not going to make it official, but I'm going to do this personally. So you can trail as you want, but I don't want to. I already have 2 official plays, so I don't want to throw away a win here. We're already plus, so I'm not going to do that officially, but unofficially, it's a way of playing this. So you do +200 on the Astros to win the World Series before they play Game 6, because I do think the Astros are going to win Game 7. Personal opinion, I think they win Game 7. Game 6 rather. So then we're going to a Game 7, and then for a Game 7. We're going to go into having a +200 on the Braves, which essentially becomes a +200 money line, and then come back and bet the Braves as well for a half a unit on either side. So then we'll guarantee ourselves a profit, and maybe you can come back with, depending on what I could be wrong. Maybe the Braves are plus money for a Game 7. Who knows? They're -110 both sides, right? Probably. So you got a +200, you got a +110. You can hedge off of that. If the Astros win the World Series, you're golden. We cashed 2 Astros tickets, and we're way up. So I'm going to do that personally because I'm already on the +120 and the +145. So sorry to ramble like that, but that's just kind of us figuring that out live here on the podcast. All right, so to recap the plays, Miami -7.5 at Ohio, Eastern Michigan +9 on the road at Toledo. Personal play on the over in the other game with Ball State. World Series over 8.5 for a half a unit, and then 2 NBA player props coming in the Discord channel later on today. My name is Matt Perrault. You guys can find me on Twitter at SportsTalkMatt each and every morning. It's the Daily Juice Podcast, always being brought to you by BetMGM.